The court is on the record in City of Pontiac versus Amber R. McHenry, case number 24 TRD 527. Court is in receipt of a pretrial report. Mr. Lewis.
Thank you, Your Honor. We may have a resolution of the matter, should the court be willing to accept it, whereby the city would dismiss the fictitious plate charge at defendant's cost, and Ms. McHenry would then enter plead guilty to the two remaining charges of failure to reinstate, driving under suspension, and expired plates. The city would then recommend waiver of fines. The court would deem appropriate along with the court costs of the case.
Part 1. Midnight to 1:10. Buckle up, guys. Today we're diving into the wild world of sovereign citizens in court. This video follows 3 bizarre cases where defendants challenge the very system judging them. From fake legal jargon to tribal land delusions, you're about to see logic crash headfirst into courtroom reality. And it all kicks off with Amber McHenry, who's already made quite the name for herself.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Sayage.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did convey the offer from law director Lewis to my client, Henry, after extensive talks and going over what she would be waiving today. She has decided today that she would take the plea offer along with the state's recommendation of just court costs and fines.
Okay, Ms. McHenry, it's my understanding today that you wish to change, you originally entered no plea to charges of failure to reinstate an unclassified misdemeanor and expired plates, a minor misdemeanor. You wish to enter guilty pleas to those 2 charges. In exchange for those guilty pleas, the 4th-degree misdemeanor charge of fictitious plates would be dismissed at your cost. Is that what you would like to see happen today?
I believe so.
You understand by pleading guilty to those charges that you would be waiving your right to the jury trial that is currently scheduled at the end of the month, as well as all of your trial rights. We just had a trial last week, so you kind of know what a trial is like. So by pleading guilty to these 2 charges, you'd be waiving all of those trial rights. Is that what you wish to do?
Would that put an end to litigation?
Yes, it would.
Depending on.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. Also, you are represented by Mr. Sayage. Have you had sufficient time to consult with him, and are you satisfied with his counsel?
Yes.
Okay. I do find that defendant's pleas of guilty to these minor and unclassified misdemeanor offenses in subcase A and B, failure to reinstate and expired plates, to be knowing, voluntary, and intelligent. The court will accept the guilty pleas to those 2 charges, and I will therefore find her guilty of those offenses. I will dismiss at the defendant's cost the fictitious plates charge in subcase.
Amber McHenry walks into court, this time trading her usual defiance for cooperation. After months of bizarre filings and rejecting the court's authority, she finally accepts a plea deal. The judge carefully confirms her understanding, while her attorney navigates the wreckage left behind. It's a surprising shift, one that shows even the most stubborn sovereign citizens sometimes fold.
So Ms. McHenry, I did not impose community work service. I could have. I did not impose a Class 7 license suspension. I could have on the failure to reinstate charge. I've just given you a fine and cost, although I'm ordering you to provide proof of insurance on the vehicle you're driving that day. If you're not able to provide to the clerk proof of insurance on the vehicle you're driving that day, you are subject to what we call a non-compliance suspension with the Bureau of Motor Vehicles. I guess what I'm saying is, Ms. Henry, I could have sentenced you in a much more severe way. I did not. But understand that if you're back here with similar offenses and you're found guilty of those, I will impose those. What I didn't do today, I would do at a later time.
Like I said, we'll see if she's truly changed her ways, or if when she leaves the courthouse, she heads directly to the first lickable win.
The judge doesn't let Amber off lightly. She warns her. This was a lucky break, but there won't be a second one. With her charges resolved, the judge reminds her to prove insurance or face suspended license. It's a clear message. Next time, the consequences will be real. McHenry nods, but whether the lesson sticks is anyone's guess.
The next case is LaTanya Denise Turner versus Brian K. Widener, State of Georgia, Salah Holdings, Delphine Gresham, and Larry W. Johnson. All right, is there Ms. Turner, LaTanya Denise Turner?
Yes, I'm the attorney, in fact, on behalf of the principal, who is the resident agent. I have also already submitted forms appointing the judge over this matter to administrate on behalf of the principal. And I also submitted the rest of my entries on records. Now, with that being said, the Form 56 appointing judge.
Ms. Turner, I gotta see you first.
Okay. I'm trying to, there I go.
Okay, there you are. All right,
Okay.
so Ms. Turner, very quickly.
We switch courtrooms to meet Judge Tammy in Georgia and a new sovereign citizen, LaTanya Turner. She enters calmly, but immediately starts throwing around sovereign terms and pseudo-legal nonsense. The judge listens patiently, but it's obvious this isn't going to go the way Turner thinks. A battle of logic versus delusion is about to begin.
I've reviewed the information that you provided. First of all, you're suing with respect to a foreclosure, which is a situation that involves land and a determination of ownership with respect to land. That is not my jurisdiction. I'm in state court. State court does not have jurisdiction over determinations of land. We deal with dispossessories, which is a temporary situation with respect to land, the allowing someone to use your land in exchange for rent or your property in exchange for rent. But we do not deal with whether a foreclosure is proper. So in this case, this court is going to have to transfer your case to the Superior Court of Clayton County, depending on whether this is Clayton County that's involved. And so I see you're suing the state of Georgia. Not sure how they're involved. Not sure how any of these parties are really have an interest in this case. But with respect to the jurisdiction for foreclosures, that is not what I do. Okay. All right. Is there anyone else here on behalf of any of the other parties who either disagree with what I've said or who have anything that they would like to put on the record?
So, Your Honor, this is Larry Johnson. I represent Brian Widener as well as myself. I just want to point out to the court, this was initially filed and I was not named.
Okay.
And after I filed an answer on behalf of Mr. Widener, the plaintiff just stuck my name and added it to it without a court order. And at that point in time, she needed a court order. So I'm not personally, I'm only in this case because I filed an answer for Mr. Widener.
Name me too.
Yeah. Judges and attorneys have judicial immunity from civil liabilities pertaining to cases they oversee, meaning you can't sue a judge or an attorney just because they rule against you.
Turner's legal fantasy kicks into full gear. She claims the court has no jurisdiction and waves around sovereign documents. But Judge Tammy isn't having it. She calmly but firmly shuts down every false claim. Turner's argument collapsed under basic law, and the courtroom watches as a made-up legal strategy unravels piece by piece.
So, Ms. Turner, I know you have a set of beliefs about how the law works, but the way we do it here is just because somebody files on behalf of another person, everybody's entitled to have an attorney represent them. And so you can't then sue the attorney for giving them a defense. So everybody who comes into the case doesn't get sued individually. Like there are people who are responsible, allegedly, for what you are contending happened. But then there are other people who they choose to hire to help them navigate the case. For the people who are navigating the case and for the judges who are dealing with the case, you don't get to sue them because they don't have an interest in at that level. They're just trying to help the other person navigate the case, okay?
Could I get finished recording my interest on record?
No, ma'am. You've done that. You're the plaintiff.
Okay. Well, Judge, I would like to record my interest on record.
I'm not sure what that means, ma'am.
It means she just wants to hear herself speak so that she can go back to the Waffle House and...
Judge Tammy lays out the basics. Turner can't sue judges or prosecutors just because she doesn't like the outcome. But Turner's having none of it. She insists the system is rigged, even as the judge offers clear explanations. It's a one-sided tug-of-war, logic on one side, stubborn delusion on the other.
I'm the attorney-in-fact on behalf of the principal, who is the registered agent. I already
Okay.
submitted the Form 56 upon you over the matter to
Okay,
administration
I
on
don't,
behalf of our principal.
Ms. Turner, nobody
Okay.
gets to appoint me over the case. I'm already appointed to whatever's assigned to me through the clerk's office.
I appointed you through my for my trustee, and Your Honor, I would like to add also to the case and ask you a question.
No, ma'am.
Yes or no?
The question that I'm not going to answer any questions because this is not my jurisdiction. But I'm going to transfer the case to Superior Court and let them sort it out because land use and land and interest in land is under the jurisdiction of the Superior Court. Okay, so we'll get you an order. We'll also dismiss Mr. Larry Johnson from the case pending whatever the Superior Court decides because he's only here to represent the defendant, which the defendant has a right to hire an attorney to represent them, and that attorney doesn't deserve to be sued because they are helping somebody defend themselves.
This case is also in the federal court also.
Okay, then if it's in federal court, then it probably doesn't need to be here also. You shouldn't have a case running in two different courts at the same time.
Turner descends into pure word salad. She rambles about private status, contracts, and other sovereign buzzwords. The judge, remaining calm, eventually has to call it what it is, meaningless. Her patience is admirable, but you can feel the courtroom's tension rising as Turner refuses to return to reality.
Okay, that's just going to cause confusion. And you're not going to achieve what it is you wish to achieve.
Okay, Your Honor, I know this court has no jurisdiction per 12 CFR 1500, and also, is there or should there be an investment in private residential property in the United States? Or is deposit?
That is a question bigger than any of us can handle. People can invest in whatever they spend their money on. So at this point, I think that you're going a little bit too far afield. Like I said, we're going to go ahead and transfer this case to Superior Court, and my brother or sister judges on Superior Court will help you sort out what it is going on. Okay. All righty. So we'll go ahead and get an answer out.
Turner insists she's not a sovereign citizen, yet repeats every talking point from the movement. The contradiction is stunning. She wants legal recognition without obeying the law. The judge tries to redirect her to facts, but Turner just spins in circles. It's denial at its most bizarre, and it only gets worse.
To all of you, get an order out to all of you transferring this case to Superior Court. But just as an aside, Miss Turner, everybody who comes in as a representative of somebody else, if they're an attorney, don't sue them because it just makes the case harder to get through. Okay, if you want to achieve something with respect to finding out what happened with your foreclosure, don't keep adding people to the.
Your Honor, in this executive branch of law, I have a right to sue the attorney, anyone else involved.
Ms. Turner,
in this executive branch, I do have a right to sue them and anyone else involved.
It's nonsense. None of what you're saying makes sense. None of what, Ms. Turner.
It's federal law.
Ms. Turner, we're not in federal court. None of what you're saying makes sense. You haven't established an estate. There's no trustee. You're giving us word salad. You're just saying stuff that you've read or somebody told you was appropriate. It's essentially called a sovereign citizen. But
no, it's not a sovereign. It's not. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
If those things work, ma'am.
With patience running thin, Judge Tammy finally cuts through the nonsense. She declares Turner's arguments unintelligible and dismisses the case outright. There's no dramatic outburst, just a quiet but powerful end. The sovereign strategy failed, and the system did exactly what it was meant to do: uphold the law.
Everybody would
don't put that on me. I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Turner, you've made statements that sovereigns use, and so
I have my trust set up, and I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Yes, ma'am.
I am a person working in my trust.
Okay.
I'm a sovereign citizen.
All right,
That's
Mr.
against the law.
Okay,
I'm not a sovereign citizen. So I have my trust set up
okay,
in a way that it's working for me, and I have it set up.
okay.
And that's what I'm working on, my trust.
All right. So, Miss Ebony Milner is present. Also, the Mr. Brown, who's on here on behalf of Federal National Mortgage Association. Mr. Brown, Miss Milner, is my understanding that this was heard in magistrate court, and this is a um, request for appeal. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. This is a petition for review from a dispossessory judgment. She was a tenant at sufferance post foreclosure.
Okay. All right. So, Miss Milner, tell me what's going on.
Judge, well, this is a case of land rights, tribal law, and treaties.
No, ma'am. No.
And I would just like to
I
say
have
that
no-
I'm a tribal member,
No, ma'am.
part of the Cash Box Trust
No.
Tribe,
No, ma'am.
government,
No, ma'am. We're not doing that.
and American
Um,
Indian landowner.
No, ma'am. So we're not doing all that. So this is a simple eviction.
Next up, Ebony Milner. She strolls into court claiming her home is on tribal land and state laws don't apply. The judge doesn't blink. Milner's arguments are straight from the Sovereign Citizen playbook, just dressed in tribal terminology. The courtroom is calm, but the absurdity is dialed all the way up.
So you can tell me how much was owed, how much you paid, whether there's anything to that allowed you to stay in the property, or whether there's money owed to you. I don't do the whole trust, tribe, all of that, because that's not what we
Well,
deal
that's
with here.
what this is in regards to.
Well, then, ma'am, that's not what we're doing here. I would either have to transfer you to a tribal court, which I don't know of one exists for you, or for superior court, because this involves a foreclosure. Essentially, he bought the house through a foreclosure. You were a tenant in the house at the time, or you owned the house and he bought it under the foreclosure. And then it was whether you get to stay in the house and pay rent, or whether you're going to be evicted. Am I clear, Mr. Brown?
Yes, Your Honor. And
Because I don't deal with I went to law school for 3 years, have practiced law for over 30 years, have been a judge for over 12 years. I don't do the trust stuff because that's some arcane, esoteric stuff that you all believe that we don't follow here in the judicial system.
I understand. Well, I would also like to say that I'm not here to handle any of my private affairs in the public.
Okay, so I'm not sure what that means. You asked for the appeal.
Yes, and as I was stating, I'm tribal member, part of the Cash Box Trust Tribe, and also an Indian American landowner. So this case is in regards to trust and tribal land.
So the property, the foreclosure is on a house on tribal land?
Correct.
Which tribe?
I'm sorry?
Which tribe?
The Ebony
They
Milner
kicked me
tribe.
out.
No, sir. I don't know of that tribe, ma'am. So we either do
Yes,
this.
and all the documentation had been put on file as well.
Okay.
post foreclosure.
Okay, so here's the thing. Like I said, I've explained to you that if somebody purchases a home through foreclosure, then the people who were owners of the home or buying the home have two options.
Milner digs in deeper. She refuses to answer questions, insists on her tribal identity, and ignores the judge's repeated instructions. The judge explains, again, that none of this exempts her from state law. It's another crash course in legal reality for a defendant who refuses to participate in it.
They can leave, or they can be treated as tenants in the home. And in this case, it appears that Mr. Brown's client sought to evict you, and now you are asking for a review of that. So in my role in this court, I can go through the case as if it was never heard in magistrate court. But what I will tell you is I'm going to ask very specific questions. I'm going to follow the law under the state of Georgia with respect to landlord-tenant. And if you're not able to provide me that information, then I'm going to determine that you're not able to prosecute the case in the way that it needs to be, and I'll dismiss it for want of prosecution.
Well, again, American tribal landowner. So
Okay.
those laws
No,
that you
ma'am.
may speak of don't
No.
apply to me.
No. Well then, okay, I'm going to dismiss your appeal for warrant of prosecution. The court does not have jurisdiction over American tribal land, nor is there a designation of this property being a tribal land. So at this point, the court is going to dismiss this for warrant of prosecution. Thank you. All right, next.
Finally, the court has had enough. Milner's appeal is dismissed, her case thrown out, and the judge reiterates that legal fantasies don't override real law. Back in the outro, we get a final recap of the madness, the lessons, and the legal smackdown we just witnessed. If you found this courtroom chaos as wild as we did, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you in the next video.